No idea if we're live, but it says we're live. So, hi
I think we're
everyone.
live. I don't know if we're
Welcome.
live either.
Oh, it says we're live.
Okay.
Welcome to KMRD Radio Stuff. My name is Mike. We are with our Lord and Savior, Callum McCormick from DX Commander.
And a very good day, everybody, with my multicam setup.
He's already drunk. It's what is it, 10 o'clock there right now?
No, it is 9. It is 9.
It's 9. Okay, yeah. He was sipping on some Corona. Yeah.
Hopefully, you're going to talk a bit, and I can run out to the fridge and get another one in a minute.
Well, it's your show.
How is it?
So, in case you guys live under a rock, Callum has this small little antenna company called DX Commander, and I have touted my absolute love and passion for the DX Commander so far as to say that the DX Commander is one of my all-time 2 favorite antennas in the world. You've seen me take them out many, many times. Anytime there's like something really special, like a field day or I'm going to activate an island that has never been activated. You know, when you really want an antenna that you know is going to perform solid, you bring the DX Commander, okay? I literally have no clue how many HF antennas I own, but the DX Commander never leaves my trunk. It is always with me. So I brought my friend Callum here to talk about his wonderful antennas. He's got a new 12-meter antenna out that is really exciting. He just posted this awesome just drone video of it. And I DM'd him. It was like 2 a.m, and I'm like, I don't even know what I said, but I was just like, oh my God, it's such awesome.
I'll tell you what you said, right? You actually no, I will tell you because it was really nice. And I actually went to see Wendy, and I said, you never guess, I've just got a DM from Mike, and he said, oh my God, that video. Then you said, you just won ham radio.
Yes. Well, think about like where I've been following your channel since I became a ham, and to look at where you were then and where you are now, and all of the research and development you've put into these DX Commander antennas, and you're an 80-meter guy, so you're always chasing that 80-meter thing. And originally it was just like the DX Commander Classic, and then you can run the wire up and run it as an inverted L, and you've had it like strung on your bushes and stuff. Like anything you can do to get on 80, you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And now, so why don't you tell us what you've done with this 12-meter? I don't know if you've come up with a name with it yet. We got to come up with some kind of epic name, even more epic than Nebula for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so tell us about this new antenna.
So, well, what we'll do is I've edited just something together. And I'll play it now. If you can just kind of highlight me,
yep.
I'll press that button. Hopefully you can see this. This was with my little drone. So hopefully the viewers can see it. It's a very long part. It's 12.4 meters long, okay, which is 40 feet in American, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's got the standard base at the bottom, the 2 plates. One's the ground plate for the radials and one's the driven plate for the elements. This particular one, it's called the Signature 12.4. All right.
Okay.
It has a coil at about 25, 30 feet. And we'll just look at the coil in a minute. And that gets it resonant on 80 meters. I put the coil up there to get as least amount of loss as possible on that. Now, we will discuss a minute how this gets on the 30-meter band as well. The drone, by the way, is currently sitting on top of the trees to the middle left of the picture, right? Because I lost it bloody yesterday, right? Wendy and I were down there this morning. But anyway, I tried to make this non-guide. However, it's impossible, I promise you. So I guide mine at one place here. And it survived 50 miles an hour. In fact, I got a customer that emailed me that they had 120 kilometers. So what's 1260s? I don't know. That's a lot as well.
Yeah.
So anyway, there we are. I'll switch back to my normal camera now, and then you can unhighlight me, and we can just carry on.
Yeah, that video was just I was like, you did it, man.
I did it. I won ham radio. I think
well,
it's the
you did
funniest thing
like
I've
I
ever
feel
had.
that's the antenna that you've been trying to do your entire career in this.
I know.
Am I wrong in that, or is that a fair statement?
No, the only way I could beat that, and I'll tell you it's foibles, if that's the right expression, is it because there's a couple of things that annoy me. One is I don't get a perfect tune on 6, and I spent about 3 days under an umbrella outside with all my tools and my analyzers and everything. I
Yeah.
couldn't get 6, and there is a reason behind that, and which I'll come to in a minute. Wouldn't it be great if we did top band as well?
Have you tried the K8MRD mod with that?
Which mod? The extra elements?
Yeah.
No, because I'm already running 7 elements, Mike. And every time, if I put another element up there, all the others, it took me nearly 6 weeks just to get a tune on this thing, right?
Wow.
But I did a video all about the bandwidth. The bandwidth is fine. You get the whole of 20, you get the whole of every band, and we get 160 kilohertz on either 75 or 80 at 160 at 2 to 1 and 106 kilohertz at 1.5 to 1 on 80.
Okay.
But as hopefully you don't need to unsplit screen. You should be able to see this if we zoom it in enough.
Yeah, nobody wants to see me anyway. So
okay, so I'll just move my microphone a little bit. So I don't know what I'm saying. Right. So we'll take this 12.4. Now, what originally we did was we went all the way up and all the way back down, and that actually works as well, but it uses up too many element slots. So at the moment, we've got this coil on, and it goes all the way up, and actually it comes back down a bit. And then what we can do, I mean, I've written up the spec. I know exactly what happens every time you chop a few inches off, you can change the tune on this fold back. However, what we did discover was the placement of the coil, and I've used pink there, which you probably can't see very well. And better color out.
There's lots of DX Commander fans in the chat.
Oh, is it? I'm not looking at the chat. Hi, guys. Sorry.
I'm trying to.
I did say hello, Jason, because I spotted him on there.
Scott says hi, too.
This was fascinating. In the development, we had a tune at 14.6. I moved it up about 3 feet and it went to 12.4 megahertz. And then I woke up one morning, because you do your big thinking, when you're sound asleep. And if you're passionate like I am, and by the way, I'm only passionate because if I don't get this right, I don't eat, right? If you're really passionate, you can work things out. So what happened, camera 3, is I thought, oh, wait a minute, let's move the coil up a little bit further. And sure enough, I got a perfect tune on 10.1 megahertz. Now, we're going to have to ask some really clever person. I know Dave Kassler might know, for instance, why this moves and what the formula is. And so a couple of people did say that it was possibly this was acting as a trap. I don't believe it is because the height, when we were getting a tune on 14.6 megahertz, that height was nearly 6 meters high. The 20 meter band, a quarter wave, would have been 5 meters. So, it's funny. It's a good one. It is genuinely my absolute favorite. I mean, I've got to take it down soon because I've got something else coming along. But I know you wanted to talk, or I mean, you just found it interesting about the development. But about the development of any antenna. Okay, I mean, I've got some basic rules. Doesn't matter if you're putting it. This is for you now. You guys on the chat. It doesn't matter if you've got a spreadsheet or a notepad. All right, I mean, you could do this I used to do it on a notepad. I keep it on a spreadsheet now so we can save it for future. Sorry about this, Mike. I'm going back to here now.
Oh,
but you hopefully can see me here. So I run some columns, and every time I make it, so I'm at that, say 80 meters, I will detail what change I've made here, and then I'll go out and I'll measure it. Okay, and then I'll put my comments in, and then that might be 40. Now this went on to line over 1,000 on Excel, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you've shown that on some of your videos.
And that's just really important. I mean, it's all right for a single band antenna. Sometimes you can remember, oh, wait a minute, I took 2 inches off and it doesn't work now. I'll put 2 inches back on, sort of thing. But if you're doing that, over multiple days with multiple elements, you can forget, So I leave colored tape on things just to remind me, but I've always got my spreadsheet as well. So one of the, I don't have a laptop in the field. You got to remember, I live in Blooming, England, and I did the signature development sort of January, February, March, and nearly every day it was raining. So
imagine that.
Yeah, I know. So on the really, really big days, I just couldn't do it. But I'd take an umbrella out, and I would have a very, very focused idea about what I wanted to achieve that day. Like, working on maybe 20, or actually it was the upper end. It was the 12 and 10. I mean, that was interesting in that, because when so any antenna, has a harmonic. So we know that a dipole, for instance, so I'll just write the word dipole because I'm thinking right now. A dipole is resonant. It's resonant on its fundamental, if you like. So if you've got a dipole on 80 meters, 3.8 megahertz for sake of argument, and I'm quickly doing 2/8 of 16, so it must be resonant again. It's not resonant again at 7.6 because that's a loop would be, but not a dipole or a vertical. It's resonant on 3 of those. So if someone can give me 3.8, or 4 3s are 12, less 6, 11.4, I think. So it's next resonant at 11.4. Now, when a multi-band antenna, like particularly the signature 12.4, you've got this problem where you've got an 80 meter. So if you multiply that by either 3, 5, or 7, and all the other frequencies by 3, 5, or 7, you will get where all the harmonics are coming out. So the problem I was having when you get to, excuse me, I need something better. I only have really expensive gear that keeps failing. So when we got to, particularly 6 meters was a nightmare, but 12 and 10, I mean, that's really interesting. So what we could do, hopefully you guys back home are having a good time, but because most of my antennas are quarter waves, so if you like, that's the 10 meter band and that's the 12 meter band quarter wave. And however, on the SWR dips, I was getting a harmonic that was getting in the way of either 10 or 12 the whole blooming time. So again, a good night's sleep. You wake up in the morning, you go, oh, you know what I'll do? I will convert these from a quarter wave to 3/4 waves. And funnily enough, so instead of it being, let's say, 2.5 meters long, multiply it by 3, it's now resonant on it. You now make something that's 7.5 meters long, and you just increase the length. And by increasing the length, you actually get a better match to 50 ohms than you do on a quarter wave. That then got rid of the harmonic that was tripping in from God knows where.
Yeah.
And because the 3/4 wave is such a good match.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you've got other shit, SHIT, dropping in. it just goes, it's all right. I'm a 3/4 wave. I am literally 50 ohms, 50.1 ohms or something.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thanks to your demonetization. Well, thanks, Racer X. Thank you, Mike and Callum. You have awesome channels to watch and learn. I've learned a lot from watching both of your channels. Keep it up. I'm sure that's mostly to you, Callum. Thank you, Racer X.
That's fine. That's fine. Well done, mate.
So anyway, someone else was asking the difference between the new 12 meter and the Nebula, which I could speculate, but.
So what might be an idea is, let me just see. Can you see that all right?
Yep.
And what's the difference? So let's put.
And then I've got another question, and then we'll probably be done because we can talk antennas all day. But
yeah, okay.
We've only got 15 more minutes.
Have we really? Okay, let's keep going. So
quick.
the original product was the Classic.
Yep.
Okay, so it's a 10-meter pole, and it does 6 elements, and it does everything. And then it was Rowley, I think, wanted something smaller. But anyway, I sent him one of these. He didn't want it in the end. That's now become the Rapide. Okay, what's the difference between the two? Is it costs us less to make a Rapide. There's slightly less elements, a little bit less flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
You can either have 40 or 30, and 40's on a bit of a hack. We use a coil. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we've got Mike's favoritist antenna, which is call it the Expedition. And that, well, because of Mike, actually, I am going to adjust eventually the ground plate and the driven plate and give you a little bit more elements. But the effect of that is the same as the Classic, but it's a bit more whippier. It's easier to put in the motor. It's less size. Yeah. It's really easy. Then, if you remember, the factory came along and said, we got this 18-meter pole, just gigantic.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I've just got to make something out of that. So that, again, that's we get that on 80 as well. Again, we trim it to get a perfect tune with the fold back. And effectively, that does, we get 80, 60, 40, 30, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 17.
No 15 on 40?
We get 15 off the 40.
Okay.
And then 12 and 10, because of all this harmonics here, we just get a tune on 12 and 10, right?
Yeah.
And 6. But it's a lower band. It's it's full size 80 and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So if you've already got like a tri-bander, on a tower, 40 foot or whatever, you think, oh, this would be handy, because I'll get 80, 60, 40, 30, 20 on the directional, bit of 17. That's great. You get 15. You like the Classic as well. So when we did the 12.4, now it was my opportunity. So that's the 18 meter. Then the 12.4 is slightly less height. We've had to put a coil on it, but we still get 30. We still get 80, less height. We save at $125, $130, whatever. It's easier to handle. And that's why, I've got to give it 2 red ticks, because it's just, it's a one-man job and it's nice and easy. I've left a gap. Left a gap for this one here. And Mike's going, what's going in that spot?
Your viewers want to know. You're just gonna tease us with something.
Okay, so
you're working on.
So if that's the Classic series, right? This is all this down here is the signature.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what we've got coming out here is a Classic in a signature. What's the difference is because it's a tougher pole. We can self-support it with no guys. I don't want people using this for 80 meters. I want this. I want ideally, they can, if they want to go inverted L, they can. It seems a hell of a waste to use a self-supporting, really nice signature 9.5 and then waste it with an inverted L. Just use it as a 40 up to 6. Get on with it and enjoy it. So that'd be a little bit more expensive than the Classic, but it just fills all the holes, and I feel I'm done then, and I can move on to Project Blackbird or X or whatever else that I've got in my head that nobody knows about.
It never stops. Okay, so how then, because you have 6 antennas in the catalog now, something like that?
So including the 9 point, which is about 3 months away.
Okay, so right now 5.
Yeah.
So how in God's name does somebody pick which one to get?
Okay. So the Classic is economical. It does absolutely everything you want. It's a great experimenter's job. The Rapide is 7 meters high. So if you've got an HOA requirement, tuck it in the backyard, you might get away with it. The Expedition, which you know and love, keep in the trunk of the boot of the car,
Yep.
go off, and it's nice and compact. 18 meters, to be honest, you've got to be absolutely nuts. But the Nebula we do between 2 and 4 of them.
You've got to
a
get
month.
a farm with a big field like you.
A farm with a big field, indeed. And then the Signature 12.4, for me, is the upgrade from the Classic.
Now,
You've
how
already got a
tall?
Classic.
How tall? Sorry to interrupt. How tall is the Nebula mast versus the 12? Obviously, the 12 is 12.
You're looking at about 58 feet versus 40 feet.
Okay.
That's the 18 meter.
Wow.
The Nebula versus the 12.4.
Yeah.
It is substantially. I mean, even the 12.4 is 3 meters taller than your Expedition. It's another 3. So and it's all in the bottom sections. They get really big.
Sure.
So the only freestanding one out of all this is going to be the 9.5, which is kind of would compete, if you like, with a Hustler, with maybe the Monster IR from Stepper. You could buy maybe 10 of these.
And outside of the Rapide, we're pretty much getting most of the same bands on all of these.
That's right. It's the cost and the size, really, and how efficient. Because the Rapide's got a base-loaded coil for 40. Base load's about that far off the ground.
Yeah.
That actually gave me a harmonic issue, but we fixed it just by getting everything the right length.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the Rapide is, I don't know, it's $30 or $40 less, but it's really for the footprint. We only sell 5% of our gear going out the door as a Rapide. It's very, very specific to those poor people who just get hammered by a next door neighbor or the HOA officer or something like that. So there we are. So therefore, the Classic is permanent for your back garden or for your holiday, whatever. The Expedition is, Tom walked the Isle of Arran 90 miles or something and put it up 10 times and put it down 10 times in 10 days. He got it down to 7 minutes, Mike.
7 minutes.
Yep, promise you.
Wow. Was he doing? Matt here did something on how to make it go up really fast, but I don't deploy those tags. How the heck is he doing it in 7 minutes?
We came up with some tricks. For instance, we dispensed with all the carabiners. I just put stopper knots and loops on the elements. That works better.
That really speeds it up though, looping it, just looping.
With a stopper knot over it.
Yeah, you came out with that. Gosh, what, 6-8 months ago? You made a video on that. You're like, I'm changing everything. We're not using the carabiners anymore.
Well, yeah. We still got about 15,000 carabiners left. So I'll keep shipping them and giving people all the problems that they want with these carabiners.
So a few people are in the comments saying they want a DX Commander, and it just so happens Callum and I have been talking. I'm coming up on 20,000 subscribers. I'll probably hit it today, if not tomorrow. And I've got all kinds of crap to give away. So I asked Callum if he wanted to throw in one of his delicious antennas. Do we want to do just an Expedition or a Classic or dealer's choice, or what are you thinking there? Not to put you on the spot.
No, I tell you what. I mean, since we do ship more Classics than anything else, just give away a DX Commander Classic.
Okay.
Because an Expedition, it's great, and I've got some people who use them permanently.
Or do we let them decide? Maybe they want an Expedition. Maybe they want the Classic.
Just tell them.
No, all right, screw you. You're getting the Classic.
Get the Classic. I mean, it's great. It's a lovely product. I mean, the shipping's less on the Expedition. Maybe I should sell you. Maybe I should send them one of them.
I like them both, so it doesn't matter to me. But it depends on if you're a portable operator or if you need it at home. So
yeah. Okay. Well, okay. They can have a Classic or an Expedition. Good point.
Yeah, we'll give them their choice.
Yeah,
but not both.
Definitely not. No.
I will have 2 Nebulas and a 12-meter. Thank you.
I've got to show you this picture.
Oh, so by the way, I'm thinking of doing that live stream on Friday. That would be this Friday, just to throw that. Not a promise, but that's probably when I'm going to do it because I'm going out of town soon. So we might just have a big giveaway party.
Okay, and that's probably going to be way past midnight here, isn't it?
Oh God, yeah.
I've got something fun to show you on my monitor.
I like fun things.
Yeah. So if that's, I always think somehow that looks like Josh. I don't know why. It just does, right? That is the Nebula to scale. All right. So a lot of people, and I actually say to people, this is not your first antenna. You know,
Yeah.
don't. And I've had a couple of customers say, just gone out and bought this. Everything is enormous. You need to have just a little bit of experience of life, universe, and everything before you start putting that up. Yeah, but 12.4 is absolutely marvelous. We're nearly sold about 100 of those since.
Have you?
I mean, how long's it been out? 5 weeks?
Yeah, not long. Not long. That's great. That's great. We were actually Jason and I were talking.
Yeah,
because you wanted to see if I could use the 12 meter.
Yes.
And Jason and I were talking. We could use that at the field day lease.
It's a bit of a hassle for a field day. The 12.4.
Yeah, but you don't know our field days.
Okay. I mean, it'd be phenomenal if you could.
We can.
Yeah,
we can.
As long
We've
as
already
someone
talked about it.
has built it before and done it nicely, and they're the sort of person who puts it away nicely and labels everything.
Well, that's how I have mine. So we were thinking we might could do it if I go out a few days before field day and just spend a couple days building it, because there's plenty of land. There's no shortage of land. It's on acres and acres. So
yeah,
because I brought the Classic out last time, I brought the Expedition out, but there's always a DX Commander at field day, always.
Right.
So and
it works.
The problem was with 80.
It would be the ultimate field day antenna if you could be bothered to put it up.
No.
Because you get 80. But particularly, are you allowed to switch antennas as well? Because if you had a low to the ground,
dude, we got switches and we got all kinds of antennas. We got a Buddy Hex, we got a DX Commander, we got NFEDs, we got dipoles. We're usually running 4 alpha. I usually have an antenna switch just because I like using multiple antennas. So there's no shortage of
because
stuff.
Daytime on 80 meters, low to the ground, 20-foot dipole, you can't beat daytime. You know, it's just you're just loud then. Up to like 400 miles, you peter out anyway, you see, don't you? But at night, then vertical, you know, for that extra 500 miles, then DX as well.
See, I had the Classic out last field day, and I ran 80 as an inverted L.
Yes.
And I got on 80 for a little bit. I wasn't making too many contacts, so I got off. But that's always the kind of the one. 80 seems to be always the one band that, like, anytime there's a field day, like, oh, what are we gonna do for 80? What are we gonna do for 80? And we always
is that right?
We always make this hassle to get on 80, and then we never get on 80. But it's like, you know, if we just had the antenna that did it,
yeah,
we'd be more inclined, because a lot of the bands, you know, like 15 and 17 have been really fun for me lately as the bands have opened it up. But once night comes, you know, they all die. So it's like, okay, well, you got 6 guys there all wanting to play radio, and you're basically got 40 and 80. So, you know, if you don't have an 80 meter antenna, you ain't playing radio. I mean, you can tune it up.
But I think why I like it is because I can go from 80 to 10. I don't have to think about what coax switch or anything. It just does it, the whole thing.
I know. And I'm spoiled because I use the Expedition Portable so much.
Yeah.
And I don't have to use a tuner. It's just because I'm hunting other POTA stations that are out. So, you know, one guy's on 17, one guy's on 40, one guy's on 15, and just bam, bam, bam. You just hop over to whatever band you want, and you don't have to worry about anything. It's great. So
it's a couple of questions I've just spotted. Oh, sorry, Mike.
No, go ahead.
We are very close to running out of DX.
That's okay.
So we've got 1,500. We've got 1,500 reels arriving in about 2 weeks' time. Anyway, so I've just and people want to know the price of stuff. Everything's about £250, $300 ish. We'll get you a nice Classic. There we go.
Ryan wants to know, how heavy is the Expedition? It is very, very light. If it wasn't in my trunk of my car that's in the shop right now, I would show you, but it's a 60 centimeter or 2 foot long telescopic mast. And then
I got some pictures before we go. So shall I flick through them?
All of the elements are in this little bag, and I can hold it with my pinky. I mean, it's nothing. It weighs nothing. So it's brilliant.
Oh, God, there's the Mark 1 without the holes in the top.
The Mike 1?
Yeah, Mark 1. It's we got a new website.
20 seconds before I got to start my other stream.
Yeah, okay, fine. Well,
We
may
can,
the
we can
force
run
be
a
with
little
you.
over. It's just my stream.
All the best, guys.
Callum, thank you.
Am I
Check out.
Can I plug? I'm on tomorrow night this time.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
2100. I've got a premiere and then a live afterwards.
Yeah,
All
his
right,
channel
good.
is called DX Commander. Imagine that.
Just in case you didn't know. Yeah.
And it's m0mcx.co.uk is the website
That's the
where
one.
they can find
Yeah.
all of your wonderful wares.
Yeah,
So,
fine.
if you guys like good antennas that work, go get a DX Commander. And that's it. All right, boys. Thank you, Callum. Always a privilege. And I'll see the rest of you guys on the next stream as soon as I figure out what I'm doing. 73.
Lovely. Bye-bye now, everybody. Bye-bye.